want to tell you, a few years back, I actually visited a club in 6950 in a place called Wesley Chapel. I walked into there, and you know when you're walking in to a club that's got energy. From the moment you walk through the door, this place was just alive. And Rotary was alive and well and living in Wesley Chapel. And that was in no small part due to our next guest tonight, who is Eric Johnston, who I had the pleasure to meet then. And just to fill you in on some details, Eric had changes to his business and into his location, and we nearly lost him to Rotary. So my thanks to Chris Casella for giving him a call and saying, hey, you're in a great area to start the club. And you know what? This is a Rotarian at heart. When you actually think of a champion, when we mention champions on these calls, Eric Johnston's the guy I think of because he has got that energy. So, are you there, Eric?
Here we are.
Oh, well, he brought the gang. Hey, it's great to see you guys. Hey, remember, it's not a party until I get there. Where was my invite? Hey, great to see you guys. Hey, Eric, perhaps you could fill us in first on that transition from Wesley Chapel, and then we'll give your members a chance to answer some other questions. That transition from Wesley Chapel, which was a hugely successful club.
Sure. Yeah. First, when I got the opportunity to do this call, can you guys hear me, George?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. I said, what better way to talk about this than have some of my club members behind me? Because if it wasn't for them, we would not have such an exciting club. So we made this a social night in one of our member studios, and we're hanging out, we're having fun, and we're excited to say hello to everybody on the Zoom call here. So that's why we have all my good friends here in Rotary. So yeah, a few years ago, when COVID hit, there was a job change for me, and the club I was in was an hour away. And so my wife, who's right here, my beautiful wife here, we weren't in Rotary anymore. And Chris Casella, who is our incoming district governor, was calling me like every other week. Dude, you got to get back into Rotary. You got to get back into Rotary. I was like, I know, but there's always that but, right? There's not a club that I want to be involved in, or that club's too far, or that club's great, I visited it, but this is what's going on. So I knew that eventually Rotary is going to be back into our lives. And so Chris called me one day. He's like, all right, what if you have the opportunity to start a new club? And I was hesitant because in the back of my mind, I always told myself the next time I joined a Rotary club, I was just going to be on the sidelines. I was just going to be coming to some socials, hanging out with some people now and then. So I knew that the opportunity to start a club was going to be a lot of work. Scarlett and I talked about it a bunch. And then finally we called Chris. I was like, all right, let's slowly kind of pursue this opportunity, see what's going on, what's out there. Is the opportunity there for us to have a vibrant, effective club? And so we started getting on the phone. We called Stephen, called Jeremiah, called our friends that we knew from the area. And they were like, yeah, you know what? I want to do some serving. I never heard of Rotary. What's Rotary? This is Rotary. This is what it's all about. And then my wife, who's our PRPI magnet media girl, she just started going crazy on social media. And before you know it, it just blew up. And so that's kind of what happened. And then we were like, okay, well, now we've got this interest. Where are we going to meet? We got to find a good location. And Safety Harbor is not that big of a town. We only have like 17,000 people that reside in Safety Harbor. The main street is awesome. There's a lot of cool little unique restaurants and shops and all this stuff, but where are we going to go? We're like, oh, we like hanging out this one place. Let's go check out. And they said, yes, yes, yes to every question we asked. Can we meet on Wednesdays? Can you shut down the restaurant? Can you do a buffet? Because I got a vision. This thing's going to be huge. Can we do this? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let's do it. So July 6th, we put it on social media, calling our friends. We're going to have our first meeting. We had 60 people, 60 people come.
Wow.
There he goes.
60 people 60 people showed up for support. And a lot of that was kind of some of the district members, but we had 40 people, 40 to 45 people that were brand new to Rotary that just heard that this new thing was going to be starting in Safety Harbor. So July, August, when did we have our banquet? September 13th. We had our inaugural September 22nd, because it's just getting bigger and bigger. And Chris Casella, who's always pushing me, was like, you got to do a banquet now. Not only are we starting to try this club, now he's like, we got to do a banquet. You got to induct these people. This has got to be huge. So we did it in a month's time. We put together a massive fundraising banquet because they had zero money in our budget for the club. I started telling my board members, like, we got to raise money. We got to do something. We get, this is what Rotary is about, giving back to the community. We have nothing besides our time to give back. We did a banquet. We had 160 people at it. In the first 2 months, we inducted 41 members in 2 months' time. We raised like $15,000 at the first banquet. So now we're just going at it. We are diving deep in. These people behind me, when I put I was like, hey, Monday night, there's a Zoom call with people from Pennsylvania to Caribbean. Do you want to meet them? And they were like, let's do it. Let's make it a social. We've had some nice charcuterie board and some wine, but we from the start, let's do it different. Let's do it big. Let's not have that minuscule mindset of we're just going to do this. And we just went at it.
That's fabulous, Chris. So how many of the 41 initial members were actual previously Rotarians?
Only 6 people had been, and that was 6 people had been in Rotary currently or Rotary in the past.
I mean, that must have been quite the sale. So what was your main sales point?
The main sales point was service. And I think that after COVID, people, what are you saying?
We cried a lot.
I cried a lot.
And at the meeting, Eric was very clear about letting people know this is about service. If you're here to network, here's the door. So I think that setting that expectation and having that authenticity from day one attract the right people.
Mm-hmm. That's it. So tell me, what's FOMR?
So after a few weeks of all these people coming to our meetings, I would get people to call me and say, I missed the meeting today. What happened in the meeting? Because I know some crazy stuff happened. I was like, you've got fear of missing Rotary. FOMR. You got fear of missing Rotary. So that's one of our big things that we use now. People call me up. What was my FOMR today? What did I miss out on? We live in what's called Safety Harbor. So we are now known as the Harbortarians, hashtag Rotary in the Harbor. We just started coming up with all these creative ideas to get the word out about what we're doing, and people have caught on to it. We inducted 41 Harbortarians that night at our banquet. And it's just, and since we've gone, I thought it was going to slow down a little bit after the banquet. We've been going nonstop.
How many applications that we had?
We just inducted.
So we've inducted 3 other already. And then we had 5 more applications or requests for applications last week. And on average, between guests and current members, we're averaging 52 people at every week's meeting for the past 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That is fabulous. So what does a typical meeting look like?
It's very engaging.
Eric's crying.
Lots of
when Chris Casella shows up, he cries too. I feel like to have people coming back, you got to create an awesome experience. People don't want to come to something that's boring that they're gonna fall asleep in. So we're very engaging. There's a couple of things that we do differently. We open up the meeting right after we say the Pledge of Allegiance. We do a social 3-minute, go find someone you've never met before, give them a hug, shake their hands, find out who they are, and socialize. So everyone does that. And then we come sit down, we start the meeting. We end the meeting with a selfie time. So we got a big screen up on the board, says selfie time. Everyone gets excited. Go find someone you don't know, pick up your phone, get your selfies and post it. Post it during the meeting. Because now what's happening is on Wednesdays at noon, the Facebook algorithms, right, Jeremiah? This is our media expert right here. The Facebook algorithms are picking up, hey, something's happening in Safety Harbor on Wednesdays at 12:45, 12:50, or 1:15, because all these people are posting their selfies. So that selfie, so then they post it to their own page, not to our Rotary Club page. That doesn't make any sense. Post it to your personal page, and then local people start seeing, hey, what are you doing Wednesday at noon? Come and check us out. We've got so many people that have come to visit our club through social media. How many of you found out about the club through social media? 1, 2, 3. All those hands raised found out about our club through social media. So they were all not a phone call. Hey, we're starting this up. Social media, social media, social media.
That's fabulous. I mean, that's a great tip. I mean, putting it on your own social media rather than the clubs. And of course, you have a social media expert in your wife, I understand.
Yeah, these two right here.
These two.
Only
So,
she's the wife, yeah.
well said. You also have some interesting ways of retaining members or keeping members engaged with regard to if they miss a meeting or things like that. You send around the hit squad or something?
What is that?
The hit squad.
Oh,
So
yeah.
no, I'm the member chair. So what we're doing, I was blessed immediately and was able to get 2 awesome people on board with me. So right here, Miss Crystal is our retention specialist. So if a current member misses more than 2 consecutive meetings, they're going to get a phone call from her just checking to see how they're doing. What can we do to get them back in, to keep them more engaged? If it was something that happened in their family, how can we help them? And then I have another lady on board with me who we alternate by weeks of our guests of calling. So if you come in, you sign in as a guest, you're going to get a phone call either from myself this week. Next week, you will get one from my counterpart, Diane, just checking in, seeing if you have any questions about Rotary. A lot of them being new to Rotary or want to know what we're doing, how can they get involved? If they make this commitment, what does it involve? So her and I are there to answer those questions.
That's fabulous. I mean, I can feel the energy in that room, and I'm sitting in Lakeland. So
Well, that's
I mean,
the key. That's
yeah.
the key to all of our guests when they come in. The word that is consistent across the board is energy. Like we've had people come in that didn't feel good that day, but came in anyway. And they said, I feel so much better after the meeting just because of everyone else's energy in the room. It can really lift it up. And that is the key to, I think, our meetings being so successful is the energy that we all bring each week.
They're electric.
Yeah, it's
electric.
That's fabulous.
So-
Now, I'm going to actually open it up for others to ask questions, but I just want to congratulate you all on creating an irresistible Rotary Club in Safety Harbor. Congrats, and I'd love to come over someday, but only when you're having a party.
That's every week.
Okay. Any questions from anyone in the room?
We got a couple of people.
You've got Jim Engelman with a hand up.
Okay. It's being spotlighted.
I was applauding their efforts. Eric's a big crybaby. We all know that, but he's got a tremendous energy. I bet you can get him to cry one more time tonight.
No, I'm done.
Fine. Great job. Great energy. Great club. I'll be there soon.
What's the average age of the club members? I would say
It's a good question.
40, 42, 43 maybe.
That's
the
Well, the average is maybe 50.
50.
You think it's that? You think it's that?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that high. I
don't
would say
think it's that
42. I'll have to get on the DAC DB and do that little radius thing and see
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
What it is.
Okay.
A couple, how much more time do we got? I don't want to take too much of the time.
Well, I want to allow our director to have a quick word, but you've got a couple of minutes if you want to do
Okay.
that.
Jeremiah, share.
I'd rather listen to you guys. Go ahead.
What makes our club special?
So, hello, everybody. I'm Jeremiah Coker, and I'm the newest member of this club. I was not part of the original swag team, so I've got some extra good deeds to do in order to earn my keep here. But One of the things that Eric asked me to share and just something that I feel very passionate about. I have been in business as a photographer telling stories for 11 years. I'm 44 years old. I'm from Pakistan originally, and I've been asked to join many, many things before, including other Rotary clubs, which I have not been able to do in good conscience. And when Eric pestered me several times out on a free festival in the street in our aforementioned small town, I really thought about it. But one of the things that draws me to Rotary in general, so not to take anything away from my local club here in general, we all know the great things that Rotary has done. The legacy of Rotary is incredible. But as a storyteller and an artist, what drew me most specifically is that this specific club here in District 6950 is doing the thing that I love thinking about. And that is, if you don't tell your story, somebody else will. So it is incumbent, regardless of heritage, regardless of trajectory, regardless of size or power or dominion, it is our responsibility to tell a story. Rotary is not X number of years old, and it's not going to be here for X number of years. Rotary is here and right now. And so being able to connect with that story has motivated and challenged me to put my lot in with this motley crew of weirdos.
Well, welcome. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Was there someone else, Eric, or are we?
Well, Stephen had a good story about, go ahead. I don't want to share your story.
Well, just being completely new to Rotary, I'd never done anything. I just knew these two awesome people who are always at my house eating and being around my kids and stuff. Scarlett's story kind of touched me about how her kids growing up were getting involved. So I wanted to be a part of something to be an inspiration to my girls, giving back for those that are less fortunate than us. So the biggest thing for me so far also has been when we were doing the hurricane relief for Hurricane Ian, when we went down there, and we were in these sweaty trucks throwing boxes, but you had fellow Rotarians that you'd never met before standing right beside you. You'd never had a conversation before, but you're cracking jokes, you're laughing, and not only are you blessing someone else, you're being blessed and having a good time and meeting more like-minded people like you. And that just urges me to do more, but also be more involved in visiting even more Rotary clubs to see the different people and meet like-minded people.
That's fabulous. It's a family business. It really is, you know. Great. So, Jeremy, do you want to say a few words to this club?
I have to. After hearing that, I feel energized. And George,
Yeah.
I want the second invitation to that party, guys. You are amazing. You are truly, truly amazing. I was with our storyteller in chief last week, Jennifer, and it takes me back to what she said to me when I thought about the idea of maybe even putting my name forward to be a director. And it was real simple. She said, Jeremy, if you can make sure that everything we do focuses on improving, increasing our memberships experiences, every club member having an amazing time when they walk through that door, she said, then we won't go far wrong. And I try to do that. And I can tell you what we're trying to do with the MAP plan is simply to get every Rotary club in the world with the same sort of energy and passion for service that you guys have. The MAP plan isn't there to do numbers. It's nothing about that. It's more there. It's data driven, but it's right there to create what you've created. So keep on doing what you're doing. The fact you care for each other, you look after each other, and you share your experiences by delivering great service to the communities is all that Rotary is about. You've nailed it. Keep on nailing it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Jeremy. I mean, what a great energy in that room. I mean, I think we all felt it, and we very, very much appreciate you. Don't forget our invites. We do want to come over and see you. Any last words for us, Eric? Or do you just want to have a quick cry or something?
Yeah, I got just two seconds. I think the number one thing in Rotary is service, right? But I think the number two thing in Rotary is membership. And I was lucky enough to serve in our district as membership chair for 3 years previous. and going around and speak at the clubs. As membership chairs, you guys here, you just got to encourage your clubs to think outside the box and don't think with this tiny little, oh, we can't change this because it's going to affect this. Change it. Change what you're doing. Change your location. Change your meeting time. Change your people. Change something. Encourage your clubs to engage and interact and change the things that need to be done to get people in your clubs. And I'm getting pulled away now. 'Cause I could go on preaching for an hour about it.
Yeah. Hey, and we would listen. Thank you so very, very much. I mean, the energy is absolutely. I usually go to the cocktail cabinet after I come off. I want to actually open the doors and shout at my neighbors. That's how much difference you make. Thanks ever so much. I really appreciate it. So what a great meeting.